umuulan pa rin, but so there's a break up there. Hopefully, soon.
She was one game away from history, and then the sky opened up. Somewhere in Washington, D.C., on a court soaked in tension and silence, a 19-year-old girl from the Philippines stood across the net from the #1 seed of the entire tournament. And neither of them knew that within the hour, the match would be ripped away from them by something neither could control. What happened in those final minutes before the rain came down changed everything. You think you know about this final. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why so many people are calling this one of the most emotionally chaotic matches of the year. Let's go back to the beginning, because you need to feel every second of this the way it actually happened. Her name is Alex, just Alex, not a nickname, not a hashtag. The girl who walked onto that court carrying the weight of an entire nation's hope on her shoulders, stepping into the biggest final of her career against a woman who didn't need an introduction. Jessica Pegula, world number 3, 18 WTA titles, 11 of them in singles, the #1 seed of the Mubadala Open. On paper, this wasn't even supposed to be close. Everyone called Alex the underdog before the first ball was even served. And if you looked at the history between them, you'd understand why. Pegula had already beaten her once, back in the semifinals of the Miami Open in 2025. And tennis has a cruel habit of repeating itself. But 2025 was the past. This was a different year, a different stage, and Alex was not the same player who walked off that court in Miami. Something had changed in her. You could feel it before she even hit her first shot. And that's exactly why what happened next hit so hard. Because for a moment, just a moment, it looked like the underdog story everyone was hoping for was actually going to happen. The first set opened like a gunshot. Game 1, and Alex came out sharp. Almost too sharp, firing a serve that Pegula couldn't even get a racket on cleanly. A rally, an unforced error from Pegula. Just like that, Alex had the first game in her pocket, and for a second, you could almost hear the collective breath of an entire country catching in their throats. But tennis doesn't let you celebrate for long. Pegula answered immediately, dragging Alex to the right, snapping the ball back to the left with a precision that looked almost surgical, and Alex, caught off balance, handed the point right back. 1-all. And here's the thing that made this match different from every other match either of them had played this year. They weren't just opponents. They were mirrors of each other. Same instincts, same footwork patterns, same obsession with placement over power. Watching them play felt less like a competition and more like two people who had studied the exact same blueprint and were now trying to outthink their own reflection. Pegula pulled ahead in Game 2, controlling the tempo, forcing Alex into uncomfortable positions, chasing balls that kept landing just out of reach. 2 games to Pegula's name, and already you could sense the doubt creeping in. Was this going to be another Miami? Was the underdog narrative about to collapse in real time? Then Alex did something that silenced that doubt, at least for a moment. She read Pegula's return, covered the center of the court before Pegula even committed to her shot, and faked her out completely, sending the ball to the exact opposite side Pegula expected. It was the kind of shot that makes commentators sit up straighter in their chairs. Game 3, Alex, 2-1. The match had a pulse now, and it was racing. But here's where things start to get interesting, because this is where you start to see the psychological warfare beneath the surface. Game 4, Pegula serving. Alex reads her early, guesses the direction, and punishes it. 2-2. The rallies start stretching longer and longer, and this is important, so pay attention, because this detail becomes the heartbeat of the entire match. Whenever the rally went long, Pegula started to win it. Not sometimes, almost every single time. It wasn't luck. It was pattern. It was preparation. And in the middle of one of these brutal, extended exchanges, Pegula pulled out a weapon that would define the rest of the match. A flat, low-trajectory shot that skimmed the net and died before Alex could adjust her footing. Alex was caught at the baseline, completely out of position, and Pegula's flat shot sliced through the court like it wasn't even trying. Advantage Pegula, then the unforced error. Game 4, Pegula's. 2-2 became 2-3, and suddenly the momentum that had been swinging back and forth like a pendulum started to lean in one very specific direction. But Alex wasn't done. Not even close. Game 5 brought something electric. Alex returning with pinpoint control, sending Pegula scrambling side to side, forcing the world number 3 into positions she clearly did not want to be in. A gorgeous serve, untouchable, and then, just as it looked like Alex was about to seize total control of the set, a double fault cracked the momentum wide open. 30-all. It's such a small thing. A double fault, but in a match this tight, small things become massive things. Pegula capitalized instantly, dragging Alex left, then finishing with a shot to the right that Alex simply couldn't reach. Game 5, Pegula. 3-2. The set was slipping and you could feel it slipping, the way sand slips through fingers no matter how tightly you try to hold on. But then, almost defiantly, Alex clawed her way back. 3-3, tied again. And this is where the match hits its first real emotional peak, because Game 7 is where Alex turned Pegula's own weapon against her. Remember that flat trajectory shot? The one that had been quietly demolishing Alex all set? Alex used it herself. Copied it, weaponized it, and it worked. Pegula chased it, reached for it, and simply couldn't get there in time. Then another serve, untouchable. Then a thunderous forehand that Pegula couldn't even get a racket on. Game 7, Alex. 4-3. She was ahead. She was one set away from taking the momentum of this entire final and never letting it go. And then came Game 8, the game that, if you ask anyone who watched this match live, will tell you was the true turning point of the entire final. The moment history almost bent in a completely different direction. 15-love Alex, she was cruising. There was a real, tangible chance sitting right there in front of her to go up 5-3. A chance that would have put immense pressure on Pegula to serve her way out of a near-impossible hole. But tennis is cruel, and momentum is a fragile, temperamental thing that can turn on a single shot. Pegula clawed back, 30-15, then 40-15, 1 point away from a 5-3 lead that would have changed the entire complexion of this final. And then, agonizingly, it slipped. 40-30, break point. The tension in that stadium must have been suffocating, and in that exact moment, with everything on the line, Pegula produced an ace, then another brutal exchange. Then advantage Pegula. Then, in one of the most heartbreaking moments of the set, Alex's shot landed just outside the line. Game 8, Pegula. 4-all. And from there, something shifted that never fully came back. Pegula took control of games 9 and 10 with a dominance that felt almost inevitable in hindsight, closing out the first set 6-4. The underdog dream had taken a brutal hit. But here's what nobody was expecting. What almost nobody saw coming after watching Pegula completely dominate the closing stretch of that first set. Alex walked into the second set with a different energy entirely. Locked in. Focused in a way that felt different from anything we'd seen from her in that first set. The rallies from the very first game were long, physical, exhausting. And remember what we said about long rallies belonging to Pegula? Not this time. Alex matched her shot for shot, point for point, refusing to let the pattern repeat itself. Game 1, second set, Alex, a statement. A declaration that this match was far from over. Pegula answered by taking Game 2, but Alex was relentless, ultra-focused, practically unshakable, dismantling Pegula's rhythm before it could even build. Game 3 brought chaos and deuce after deuce, advantage swinging back and forth like a coin refusing to land. Both players trading errors and brilliance in equal measure until the score locked at 40-all juice. And then it happened again. That flat trajectory shot. Pegula's signature weapon, the one that had haunted Alex throughout the entire first set. This time, Alex read it. Anticipated it. Countered it with a sharp attack to the right that Pegula simply could not track down in time. Advantage, Alex. Then a serve so precise, so untouchable that Pegula couldn't even get her racket close to it. Game 3, Alex. 2-1 second set. The momentum had completely flipped. The same weapon that broke her in the first set was now the very thing she used to fight back. And that's the moment, I'm right there. 2 games into a second set that Alex was dominating, with the crowd sensing a genuine, historic comeback forming in real time, that the sky decided to intervene. Rain. Sudden, heavy, unrelenting rain over Washington, D.C. The match was suspended. Just like that. No warning, no dramatic build-up. One moment there was a teenager from the Philippines clawing her way back into a final against the world number 3, and the next moment, the entire stadium was covered in tarps and silence. The score frozen at 2-1 in the second set, 1 full set already gone to Pegula, and an entire nation left staring at their screens not knowing when, or if, this story would get to finish the way it deserved to. Think about that for a second. This wasn't a match that ended in defeat. This wasn't a match that ended in defeat. It wasn't a match that ended in victory. It ended in nothing. Suspended animation. A cliffhanger written not by a scriptwriter, but by the weather itself. And there is something almost unbearably cruel about that. Because right when the psychological battle was reaching its peak, right when Alex had finally cracked the code to Pegula's most dangerous shot, right when the crowd could feel a genuine underdog comeback forming in the air, everything just stopped. No official schedule for when this final will resume. No clean resolution, just 2 players, evenly matched, mirror images of one another, frozen mid-battle with the entire tennis world waiting to see who blinks first when the courts finally dry. And maybe that's what makes this whole thing so unforgettable. Not the score. Not even the shots. It's the way this match refuses to give you closure. The way it keeps you locked in a state of unresolved tension long after the broadcast cut to static. Because somewhere out there, whenever the rain finally clears, Alex is going to walk back onto that court, carrying the exact same momentum she had built before the storm hit. And Jessica Pegula is going to walk back on knowing she let a 5-3 lead slip through her fingers in that brutal 8th game of the first set. 2 players who mirror each other in almost everything. Footwork, tactical intelligence, ball placement, except for one thing. One flat trajectory shot that decided the first set, and then got stolen and turned against its own creator in the second. If tennis has taught us anything, it's that momentum is never permanent. And sometimes the most dramatic twist in a match isn't a shot at all. It's the pause between shots, the silence where anything could still happen. So here's the real question hanging over this entire final, the one nobody can answer yet. When that rain finally clears and both players walk back out onto that court, who's going to carry the version of themselves that showed up before the storm? The dominant Pegula from the first set, or the relentless, adapting Alex who had just started turning the tide? Because right now, this story doesn't have an ending. It has a pause, and pauses, in sports, in life, in everything. They're where the real tension lives. Drop your prediction in the comments right now, before you even know how this finishes, because that's exactly what makes this moment worth talking about. Not the outcome. The uncertainty, and if you want to be here the second this final resumes, the second the rain clears and Alex walks back out to finish what she started. Make sure you're subscribed because this story is not over. It just went quiet for a moment. The way all the best stories do right before their final act.